Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life, you better do the damn thing right.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the ShoeBenderPod podcast. I'm so glad I have you guys back. Oh, man. What a great first week of football, people. It was such a great weekend of football. There were so many great games in college and in the NFL. I mean, it seemed like every game went into overtime this weekend. They were really good games. Like I said, in week one, there was going to be some pretty sloppy games, because it is week one. It's all the starters actually first time playing together. And so there's going to be miscues. There's going to be flags. Like I said, take week one with a grain of salt because it's, like I said, it's everybody's first game. It's literally the first game. The teams that, looked really good literally on Sunday are not going to be the same teams that look good in week 18. So, obviously some of them will. But, yeah, it changes because also too, like I said previously, injuries definitely hit the NFL big time. And that's just what happens. Like I said, it's part of the game. It's part of football. It's a violent sport. Anytime you're in a violent sport, you're gonna get hurt eventually. It just happens. It's the way it goes. But it's the risk you're willing to take, and you know that it could happen. But yes, welcome back. This is definitely gonna be a very heavy football show today because we're gonna talk about college and the NFL. I'm mainly only going to talk about the games that they actually just showed on TV and the ones I was able to watch. I'll check out some highlights right here as I talk to you guys during for some of the games. College, definitely, like I said, there's only one big time game that happened. I definitely will probably just get that I'll probably get the college part of it towards the end of the podcast. Just because it's more, what happened in the NFL is more fresh on my head right now. Pause. And so, let's get into it, guys. It's football time. So we started week one with the Saints and the Falcons, which the Saints were able to barely pull off, man. I mean, it's a divisional game, so these teams know each other very well. They play each other twice every year. So I mean, divisional games are always going to be like this. You expect divisional games to always be super close just because of how well both teams know each other, right? But the Saints were able to squeeze one out post down there over there in Atlanta in the ETL. Yeah, they were able to just get right by the Falcons 27-26. Next we had the Browns and the Panthers. Baker Mayfield going against his old team, the Bakes. And I mean, he looked good, especially in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't close the Browns. And like I said, the Browns are a good team, man. They were just iffy in the quarterback, and then obviously everything else that's going on beyond that's not football. And they were able to rally and actually end up beating Baker I believe it was in North Carolina as well. Yeah, it was at the Panthers' house. So yeah, they went down there and they were able to win 26-24. The 49ers and the Bears game, which was crazy, man. They showed this game, I was flipping back and forth between this one and what was the other one I was watching? Oh, the Cincinnati, the Bengals and the Steelers. I was flipping back and forth between those two games, but then I just stuck to the Steelers and the Bengals game. And if you watch that game, you know why. This game was very good as well. But the Bears were able to pull one out, man. The 49ers were definitely not expected to lose this game. I also do believe I remember hearing that George Kittle might have got hurt, but I'm not sure. I just remember when I was watching the game, they were talking about that. So I'm not sure if he went back into the game or not. Um, but yeah, the Bears were able to pull one out. They were able to beat the Niners. The Bears were at home, but they were playing in some crazy weather. If you guys haven't checked those the highlights of that game, go check it out. They were playing in some crazy rainy weather, but I mean that's football weather, Um, Especially if you win, it's obviously a lot more fun. But obviously if you lose, it kind of sucks to be all, to have to deal with all that kind of shit. Um, but yeah, congratulations to the Bears. They were able to do that. Um, we'll see if they could keep it going. Highly doubt it, just being honest. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what's up with the 49ers. I mean, to only score 10 points with Trey Lance, who's like way more, who you're able to do a lot more with in the playbook. I mean, that's not a good sign. But if George Kittle did go down, I mean, that's a huge second option that, I mean, George Kittle's really good. A lot of people flip him and Kelsey back and forth with who's the best tight end in the NFL. And so if he went down like that, that's a huge loss for the Niners. So hopefully he's all right. But I did definitely watch this Bengals and Steelers game. Gosh, man, definitely already nomination for the game of the year. Like I said, I'm over here overreacting, like I told you guys not to on the game one, but this game just in general, it was so good. It was so good. It was such a good game, and like I said, if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. It was a really really good game. Um, Joe Burrow threw a pick six to Fitzpatrick, which sucks because Joey Burrow is actually my fantasy quarterback in my big money league. Um, and he started off with the pick six. I was like, bad guys. I was hella mad, boys. Um, in the first quarter, and then the Steelers were able to get another takeaway in the first quarter as well. Each team both scored a field goal. So in the first quarter, that ended it with a 10-3 lead by the Steelers because the pick six. In the second quarter, the Steelers scored again, they scored off another turnover. This time it was J.J. Watt. Burrow throws another interception. He was trying that time. He was actually trying to fit it in between some defenders. That one actually wasn't a good throw by Burrow, and they ended up getting picked, which gave the Steelers their fourth takeaway of the game. I mean, the Steelers' defense was just balling out. I mean, they couldn't block them. Like, they couldn't block the Steelers' defensive line. T.J. Watt was just wreaking havoc, dude. He was just all over the place. I mean, I brought him up already, twice already. He's just a beast, dude. Like, he's just so good. He's just so good. Like, J.J. Watt really is that good. I mean, I meant to say T.J. Watt. I'm over here saying J.J. Watt. Clown. My bad, T.J. For real. That's my bad. But I mean, that's the reason why he's been in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year the past 3 years, because he really does wreak havoc. And then when he's not wreaking havoc, you give the chance for Hayward to wreak havoc. They have a really good stout defensive line, and they've had a good defensive line for the past couple of years. Nixon made a huge run. But at the end of the day, the Bengals weren't able to score. So at the end of at the end of the second half, going into halftime, the second quarter. Sorry, guys. It's Monday, guys. Actually, it's Tuesday. No, mom. See how I am? Oh my gosh. Anyways, So at the end of the second quarter, back to freaking this multiverse. I'm over here in another galaxy and shit. Um, at the end of this second quarter, it was 17-6. Third quarter begins. Nothing really happened, man. Honestly, nothing really happened besides the Bengals actually finally scoring, and they went for two, which I believe they didn't get. Um, in the fourth quarter, Joey Burrow throws his fourth interception, his fourth, guys, to Weatherspoon. And but I give it up to Joey Burrow, man. This is why I like Joey Burrow, and this is why I feel like what's gonna make him so great is because this guy threw four interceptions, and he was never rattled. Like, he was never gun shy. He was never second guessing his throw, like not the second guessing his read or holding the ball. Like, he kept playing. Like, he kept balling. Like, that's why I really like Joey Burrow, because he could just forget all those mistakes that he did and focus on what's going on right now. Like, I don't care what happened 2 plays ago, 3 plays ago. It's right here. Like, what's going on right now? And that's what separates the great ones, you know. There's a huge defensive stop, but it gets wiped because Sutton, because there was a holding call on Sutton. And then it came down to the very end of the game, guys. It came down to the very end of the game. Joe Burrow coming through clutch. He gets the ball at the end of the game, drives all the way down, and of course he throws it to his old college roommate, also, college champion, Jamar Chase, Uno, at the bottom of the end zone. Just beautiful catch, just bam. They have such great chemistry, those two. And Jamar, he kind of had a boneheaded play in the game, as well, when he got a taunting call or whatever, or unsportsmanlike conduct, which I thought was just stupid. It's like, bro, if these guys are jawing, let them jaw, bro. Like, unless they ain't pushing each other, or like really saying some real foul shit to each other, then it's like, come on, man. Like, just let it be. But either way, Jamar came up huge, and clutch, with his boy Burrow, like they both do all the time. And they were able to tie the game. They were about to make the field goal with the boy McPherson, who's been on fire, making every kick, all this stuff. He's a really good kicker. He really is. So they line up to kick the extra point. It's tied 20-20. And bam, Fitzpatrick blocks the kick, you guys. He blocks that shit. Straight blocks it. The game was over, guys. All they had to do was make the extra point. That's all they had to do. It didn't happen. Fitzpatrick blocks the kick. They go into overtime. It's the first overtime game of the year. It's definitely not the last one of the day. So the Steelers get the ball first. They didn't score. Bengals get the ball back. They get really good field position. And McPherson shanks it, guys. He shanks it left. Marcos. This didn't get touched. It didn't nothing. This thing just... Man, guys. Back to square one, boys. It was crazy because, I was already talking to... I think I was talking to my dad. And I was already telling him, I was already talking about the next game. I was like, yeah, this game's over. Blah, blah, blah. I'm over here talking about the one that's going to come up next. And he shanks it, dude. He shanked it. He just shanked it. He sliced it. If you're a golfer, you know what a slice is. That ain't good. And, it's all good. McPherson, you'll bounce back. You could definitely tell he's going to be a great kicker for a long time. And it happens, bro. It happens as part of the game. So he misses it. So the Steelers get the ball back. They start driving down. And they're over here driving. and then they get set up because they get stopped, so they had to settle for the field goal, and they have a really good kicker as well, Boswell. The Boswell's a really good kicker, so Boswell's going on. So I'm already thinking game's over. Steelers freaking did it. The Bengals lost this game. They deserve to lose. Um, and then Boswell misses it. Like legit. I'm telling you, man, this game was crazy. This game was crazy. So Boswell misses it. So then everybody, they're bad guys. Everybody's all mad. Everybody's all ready to throw down. It's like, what's up, homie? You know what I'm saying? They're ready to throw down. But they want to see what happens with the game first. And so Boswell misses the kick. Burrow fumbles, but it's recovered. But they don't do anything. They still have to punt the ball. Steelers get the ball back. They get in field goal range, and then Boswell's able to close that game out. That game was so good, guys. I'm telling you, it was so good. If you watch the game, you were in for a real treat. This game was the same game that was going on the same time as at the 49ers and the Bears are going on. At least over where I live in the time zone where I'm at. Because, games are differentiated, by your region. And so yeah, that was the other game that was going on, but I was way more intrigued by this Bengals game because obviously Burrow is my starting quarterback in fantasy, and I don't think I had anybody else in that game that was playing. Yeah, I didn't. And then the Bears and the Niners, like I said, they were in the other channel, but I was just more interested in this game because it was also just really, really good. We'll move on to the Eagles and the Lions. The Lions were almost gonna get their first win of the season, but they weren't able to, and the Eagles were able to win 38-35. That was a really good game. I keep on trying to tell you guys that the Lions, they're gonna be a very tough team. Like any team that plays the Lions, they're gonna be in a lot of close games. I mean, look, already first close game. They just gotta learn how to close. That's the Lions' biggest deal. They're a good team. They just can't close. I don't know what it is. Either they're missing a veteran on defense or they're missing a veteran on offense. Because they got a good enough quarterback. They got a decent enough quarterback. They got a good enough quarterback in Jared Goff. Jared Goff ain't that bad, man. I hate how people make Jared Goff seem like he's like horrible. He's not that bad. Sorry, my phone just fell. He's not that bad, guys. He's actually really good. He went to the Super Bowl, man. He literally was a quarter away, a couple plays away from beating Tom Brady. Yeah, the Lions are gonna be good, man. So anytime you see the Lions on your schedule, don't circle that game. Think that it's gonna be a win because they go fight. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a really tough game. We move on to the Colts and the Texans, which also went in overtime. The only thing with this game is that we had our first tie of the season. Neither of these teams were able to score, and they ended up tying, which is pretty crazy because a lot of people thought the Texans were gonna lose. I'm one of them. I thought the Colts would have won this game. But yeah, neither team loses and neither team wins. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We'll move on to the next game. It was the Patriots and the Dolphins. Dolphins were able to win this game. They looked good on the offense. That coach they got, they definitely know. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's hella funny, man. That guy's a character. The Dolphins head coach. If you guys haven't checked him out, I think his name's McDaniels. Just check out his interviews. He's a funny guy. He's very entertaining. But yeah, that's huge. I mean, there was a lot of questions going into the offseason for the Patriots, mainly literally their offense, because there was a lot of talk going around. I've always said this. I watched the Pat McAfee show religiously. That's my favorite podcast of like literally all time. I watch it. That's the main one I watch. I watch everything from them basically. The pod as well. Shout out to the boys. Um, but you know, I learned a lot from their show because they have a lot of really, you know, the insiders they have on there, you know, they have top notch insiders, you know, the biggest insider in the world, you know, Ian Rappaport. Um, and they were talking about they were talking about how the Patriots, how a lot of people around the league were saying that the Patriots offense looked really bad and they didn't know who was going to be calling the plays for them because the guy that had been calling the plays for them for like the past 10 years is not there no more. Um, excuse me. So yeah, for them to only score 7 points, yeah, that's not looking good. That's not looking good. Um, but like I said, week one. It's week one, guys. Next game we had the Ravens and the Jets. The Ravens were actually able to win this game because I believe I picked the Jets to win this one. Don't fucking know why, but I did. I went with my gut. My gut was wrong this time, boys. Um, and yes, the Ravens won 24-9. And Lamar looked really good. Lamar looked really good, and I really hope Lamar balls out. I hope he gets another MVP season and goes deep into the playoffs because I want this guy to get paid. I want Lamar Jackson to get paid, man. If you didn't follow up on that over the offseason, there was some stuff going on between the Ravens and Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson, they were in negotiations again, referring to the Pat McAfee show, when he said that he even did when he did his negotiations that shit got things were said that some personal shit was said, some stuff that he wasn't expecting that they would tell him were said. So I'm pretty sure some stuff got said in those negotiation meetings as to why the Ravens probably feel like they didn't want to pay him the fully guaranteed contract that Deshaun Watson got, because to them at least when I the stuff that I read and watch on YouTube and stuff, they talk about how his reps were pretty much saying like, yo, Deshaun Watson got a full guarantee deal, and if you put his resume against mine's way better than his. Why is he getting a guaranteed contract and not me? And there was a report that I seen the other recently that said that I guess he returned down. I think it was the guaranteed money was obviously Lamar hasn't came out and said, hey, this isn't true or anything. He did when they said that they offered him 150 million guaranteed. I think that's what they said, but he did shut that one down. He was like, nah, they never guaranteed there, something like that. And then now there's a report going out saying that he turned down it was between 160 to 180 guaranteed, and I'm talking to millions. Okay, guys. So he turned down 160 to 180 million guaranteed. So this isn't even what it could have been with incentives and all that stuff, because usually with incentives it's like another 40 million on top of that. So like 200 something. But yeah, so Lamar Jackson, they ended the contract negotiations as soon as pretty much the season was about to start, and then he balls out 24-9. So good for him. I hope he keeps balling out, and I hope he gets paid. Then you got the Jaguars and the Commanders that went at it, this game was really good. It was really competitive. It was a 22-28. The Commanders were able to get the W. This Giants and Titans game was really good. The Giants they did it, man. They figured out how to win. You gotta remember, everybody's a professional in the NFL. I can't say that enough. Everybody's a professional in the NFL, man. It don't matter. They don't. No team sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, no team sucks. an organization like up top, like how things are ran, that might suck. But a team itself, like the actual, like the players and coaches, they're usually really, really good no matter what in the NFL because they're professionals. So the Giants were able to win 21-10. However, the definitely looked like it was a really good game. I didn't check the highlights, but man, that definitely looks like a good one. You know what? I'll check them out right now as we speak, boys. Yeah, this one shocked a lot of people, guys. A lot of people weren't expecting them to win. I mean, I definitely wasn't. That's for sure. Let me see here. Yeah, so we're at the 3-minute mark. Let's see what they got right here. I'm watching it right now. As I get better at this stuff, I'll definitely show you guys what I'm seeing. Actually, I can't because I'll get a strike. So, gotta watch out for that. Oh snap! On a 4th and 1, Daniel Jones was able to keep the drive alive and scrambled to the left and got a first down. Barkley scrambles all the way almost to the goal line. Well, they're already at the goal line. 2nd and goal, and they score. 85. Who's 85? I can't even pronounce that, bro. Mayorik? I think that's his name. Oh, and they went for dose. They went for 2. Oh, and it was a little shovey. A little shovel pass. What's the big deal? Oh, shit. You thought I was going to the back door. I went through the front door. What's the big deal? Oh, shit. You thought I was going to drop it in the mailbox. I dropped it off at the front door. What's the deal? That shit was clean. And that's how they were able to take the lead. 21-20. Tannehill's trying to drive him down right now. 3rd and 4th. Overthrows him. Flag on the play, boys. Vergas. Who's the dead man? Who's the dead man that lost us the game? Someone's about to get cut. Ooh, on defense too. Verga. Definitely getting cut, boys. That contract is getting shredded as we speak. Damn, that was a dime by Ryan Tannehill. So now they're at the 27. The hell are they doing? I don't know what the hell the Titans just did right now. I don't know if that was like a kneel or them just trying to get in a better position. Oh, that's what they were doing, yeah. So they were getting in better position, but he went backwards. And he missed the kick. Man, guys. That's how he lost, boys. But I don't get it, though. Why did Ryan Tannehill, you don't have to, run backwards to get to where you... I don't know. That was bad. That was bad. That wasn't good. Oh, well, man. That's what happens. Titans lose. We move on to the Chiefs and Cardinals. That was a blowout. I was not expecting that to be a blowout. It was 44-21. And, everybody's hyping up Pat Mahomes. I keep on trying to tell you guys, man. He is good. He is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to feel like I'm hating on the guy because he really is good. I just don't feel he's as good as people think. Dude, the Cardinals blitzed him literally on every play. On every play. You blitz any quarterback of that kind of caliber, of Pat Mahomes' caliber, he's gonna tear you up like this. That's why you draw 44 on your ass. Maybe you should stop blitzing. Maybe their offensive line can pick up blitzes. Maybe he can get the ball out fast, and we should probably stop blitzing this guy. Yeah, they lived and died by the sword, the Cardinals, and that definitely was a blitz monster. The second game I was super excited for. I was just kind of upset they didn't show it on the region that I was at because I really wanted to watch this one. And it was the Chargers and the Raiders. And that was a really good game as well. That came down to the wire. Um, Devontae Adams looked good, of course. Of course, of course. It took him a while. It took him a while to get, acclimated a little bit, but once he caught on, he was solid. He was golden. Um, he really turned up the second half. He picked up his first touchdown of the season, and the Chargers defense looked amazing. I mean, Khalil Mack 3 sacks. Joey Bosa had one as well. Khalil Mack destroyed that whole game. The whole game. The whole game was just destroyed by Khalil Mack. Um, that's the reason why I chose them. They're my favorite. They're my favorite to win the Super Bowl. I know I told you guys not to overreact, but I don't feel like I'm overreacting when I seen that defense. They showed me what I expected from that defense, and they are just stout, man. Their corners, there was a lot of coverage sacks. I believe they had 7, or something like that. They forced turnovers. I think Khalil Mack forced two fumbles. I know he forced one for sure. There was picks, I believe. I mean, just his defense was just amazing. They looked really good. And I mean, against firepower like the Raiders have, and to only hold to 19 points, it's really good. That's really good because you're gonna need that in that division with the Chiefs and the Broncos, and yeah, that everybody's got firepower in that division. The only thing that sucks about that game is that I heard that Keenan Allen might have got hurt. So, we'll all stay posted for that. And, hopefully everything's all right with him because, he's huge to that team. And the Chargers were able to get the win, so they start off 1-0. Then we move on to the Packers and the Vikings. The Packers did not look good. They did not look good. They didn't have their starting left tackle, though, who was supposed to start. For some odd reason, they didn't get the nod towards the beginning of the game. So he didn't get to start. And man, the Vikings look good. Their defense looked really good. I don't know if their defense was that good or it was just the Packers defense offense was just that bad. But Zadarius Smith, the linebacker that did play for the Packers the past 2 seasons, I believe, he was destroying that game. They couldn't block the guy. They could not block him. He was all over the place. There was this pretty funny play. They ran like a screen route or something, and Aaron Rodgers went out to go block, to run out to be a blocker. And Zadarius just runs up to him and just, he shoulder checks him. He doesn't, level him out, but he does shoulder check him, and it's just funny because Rodgers gets up and he just he tries to get up fast, but he slips and so he falls back down. But when he does get up, though, you can see he's sitting there chirping at Zadarius, just all in fun, though, nothing crazy. But there's nobody on the Packers defense that could guard Justin Jefferson, man. This kid is very special. I mean, there's a reason why Joey Burrow put up those numbers at LSU that one season, because he had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. 2 young receivers that are legit tearing up this league right now. Both of them. It's kind of like the whole, when Baker had CeeDee Lamb and, Hollywood Brown. It's just awesome to watch Justin Jefferson because he's always open. If you have him on your fantasy team, this guy, you love this guy, bro. He's probably averaging you 30. It's crazy how open he gets. I don't get how he gets so open. Like I say, bro, this guy should be double teamed every time. And you guys are leaving him open. Why are you guys, why is Thielen being open? Why is these other guys being, why none of those guys getting open, but Justin Jefferson's getting wide open? It's backwards. It shouldn't be like that. You guys should be shutting him down and letting all the other guys wreak havoc, But yeah, just Justin Jefferson looks really good. He looked like in midseason form. Um, I don't know what he's been doing in the offseason, but it's working out for him. He looked good. And then we had the primetime game, which wrapped it up with the Buccaneers and the Cowboys. Them boys, right? Y'all ain't them boys. Y'all ain't them boys. Y'all ain't boys. And so the Buccaneers tapped that ass for real. They went into Jerry World and said, "This is my ass." And Jerry, like, this is your whack ass team. Jerry, this is why you shouldn't be the GM. Jerry, this is why you shouldn't be the head coach. Like, come on, man. Just sit back and enjoy and watch the game like every owner does. Hire a GM. Let the head coach actually coach. Yeah, it's wild. The Cowboys look horrible even with Dak. But I've been saying this for a while. I'm not surprised, just for the simple fact that their window has been closed. Their window was closed like I said, like 2 years ago that their window was closed. Because as soon as they had to pay Dak, it was over. I knew it. I was like, as soon as they paid Dak, I was like, it's done. They're done. Their championship window is closed. You trade Amari Cooper and you're forcing CeeDee Lamb to be a number one receiver, which he can be, but it's still too early. I feel like he'll be that. I feel like he'll make a big jump next season, like a huge jump. But this season, like, I feel like he's gonna struggle a little bit because he's not gonna be used to the double teams he's gonna be getting all season. That's why I'm saying that next year you have a better season because he'll be more like adjusted, more acclimated to it. Because I do believe he's the number one receiver. Just right now he's gonna struggle with it because he's gonna be getting double teamed a lot, which he's not used to. He was used to Amari Cooper getting double teamed, but Cooper's not there no more. It was kind of like the Antonio Brown Juju situation type thing. Once Antonio Brown left, Juju's numbers dropped heavily, and because everybody got to double team him and you didn't have to worry about anybody else. And that's kind of what's going on with the Cowboys right now. Like, you really don't have to worry about anybody else. Diggs was getting cooked by Evans the whole game. He let a lot of yards up. He did make some really good plays that I really liked, but they were more just recovery plays. They weren't really good plays. He just recovered on the ball really well and just deflected it away. But I mean, Brady definitely was not scared to throw his way. The way people talk about Diggs literally just had like 11 picks or something like that, something crazy last season. And Brady legit just kept going at his ass. Like, I ain't scared of your ass. Like, you ain't doing shit. And he wasn't. He wasn't. Diggs. I don't think Diggs. I don't think he picked him. I don't think he ever got an interception off of him. I'll check right now. But yeah, I don't remember that at all. If he did. Let me see here. Oh, of course. They always make this so difficult, guys. Where is he at? Yes. Let's check right now, guys. So yeah, he didn't have any interception at all. He only had 3 tackles. Like, he didn't, like, and like I said, Brady was going at this guy. Like, he wasn't shying from him. He wasn't like he wasn't like treating him like you would treat an elite corner. You know how you like literally never throw that way. He was throwing that way. He didn't give a shit. And then some real bad news for the Cowboys is that Dak is gonna be out 6 to 8 weeks. He has to get thumb surgery, man, and that's huge. That's huge. One, because starting quarterback, gotta have your starting quarterback, even if it is Dak. And second, even when Dak was in there, like I said, the Cowboys still didn't look good. I mean, he threw 2 interceptions where it was just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, that's double coverage. And one of them, he just threw it to the defender. Like, it was just a bad throw. It was like, dude, your receiver's over here. The defender, like, you threw literally the defender, unless the receiver was supposed to be there. But, I mean, that was a bad throw, you know? But then again, he doesn't have any time, and he's going up against the Tampa Bay defensive line, which is really good. And that's another thing that I was trying to tell people about the Cowboys too, is that I did not know that Peters was not going to start. So if I would have known that, obviously I would have seen this coming. But I thought Peters was going to start. But he didn't start at left tackle. And it's so huge. I can't say it enough. That in the NFL, having a left tackle, you have to have one. If your quarterback's right-handed, of course. And he has to be good. He has to be great. Not even good. He has to be great. Because if they're not, stuff like this happens. Like Dak had no time to throw on Sunday night. He had no time to throw, man. The Tampa Bay defensive line was getting to him. And yeah, that left tackle was struggling. The Buccaneers' only touchdown though was to Mike Evans. Everything else was basically what was I gonna say? Field goals. So I mean, the Buccaneers' offense didn't look as sharp, but you know, it happens. Like I said, it's the first game. Everybody's still figuring out their timing. Everybody's figuring out this still. It'll all come into place. The Buccaneers' offense looked really good. Their defense looked really good. Just some bad news about that too, though, is that I was seeing that Chris Godwin got hurt and that he might be out a couple of games. So you know, we'll keep an eye on that. We'll all keep an eye on that, and hopefully, you know, Chris Godwin comes back okay, because you know he actually just came back from, you know, an injury. So, you know, hopefully everything's okay with him, and you know they could take it, you know, slow or whatever they need to do to, you know, keep him on the field, because he's definitely a huge playmaker, and his presence is definitely felt on that field, because that's another guy you really have to guard. You know, Mike Evans is great, but if you can have Chris Godwin in there, I mean that takes that offense to another level. So the Buccaneers were able to win 19-3. And then last night we finished the week 1 with the Broncos and the Seahawks, which was such a great game. The atmosphere was amazing. Of course, you're going to get a great atmosphere in the Pacific Northwest, the best atmosphere in the whole world, for real, guys. The going to a Seahawks game is an experience. Like that's how awesome those games are. And it definitely was one yesterday. If you guys were able to attend, or whoever was able to attend, the crowd was very loud. There was a lot of Broncos fans there. I was actually really surprised. I was like, damn. I was like, there's hella orange there. I was like, I did not see that many orange last time the Broncos were here. Just saying. But anyways, yeah, there was a lot of Broncos fans there. The energy was really loud. The crowd was really loud. The crowd, honestly, they were able to make the Broncos commit like 4 false starts. And actually, one of them was like really costly. Like it was big for them to get those extra 5 yards added. So yeah, the fans definitely played their part last night. They were definitely extremely loud, and it was cool. It was a really, really, really good game. It was a very great way to end for what was already a great week 1. The game ended 17-16. Yes, it was that good of a game if you didn't get to watch it. Great game. Gino played well. I like the way Gino played. The only thing Gino needs to literally just work on, because he's honestly got everything else down. He just needs to work on stepping into the pocket more, because he tends to just step back and stay there. And right now, our left tackle, who played very well, he didn't allow a sack for like the first half. And then the second half, Chubbs really turned it up on him was able to beat him a couple times. But Cross played very well. Lucas played very well. Like, I'm very excited to see those two young linemen, because if you could anchor those two positions, I mean, that's gigantic. And our center is really good. That guy that we got from Kansas City Chiefs, I hadn't seen a center in Seattle call plays out like that since Max Unger, bro. Max Unger, he was huge for Seattle, and just to see that center go down and be calling guys out, hey, blah, 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 blah. Like, it just looks so good to see that, because I haven't seen that in a while. Like I said, I haven't seen that in a while with Max Unger. He was with us in 2013. That was it. So it's almost 10 years since I've seen a really, a good center in Seattle. Not to take shots at like Britt or Posick. I think that's how you say his name. The kid from LSU. Like, not to take shots at those guys. But this guy feels like a true center. Britt, he literally played every position on the offensive line. He was a Swiss Army knife for us. And same thing with Posick. Or Pokic. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I feel bad if I'm like destroying it. But it was good to see that. Our receivers look good. DK looked good. He was getting targets. Like, DK was actually getting the ball, which was nice. And the one thing that I also noticed about DK a lot during the game as well is that he's starting to catch with his hands. And that's what I said. I was like, dude, if DK could learn how to catch with just his hands instead of trying to catch it off his chest, he legit will be Megatron. You're not gonna jump one-on-one with this guy. He has a 40-inch vertical. Like, he could jump. And he's just massively strong. So if he gets the clamps on there, that ball isn't moving, dude. And I seen him do that a couple of times last night. And, it got me really excited, man, because if he could keep doing that, he'll be unstoppable. Our tight ends look good, man. That's what I really like, too, is that Gino's really using the tight ends. It's like, bro, use them. That's what they're there for. He's throwing the checkdowns. Our run game looked really good, which they look good in the preseason. So that's awesome to see. Our defense was just flying around. Our young corners were played very well. Yes, there were some really mistakes. They definitely picked on Woolen a lot. He got picked on a lot because, he got like 3 or 4 pass interference calls last night. But that's okay. That's growing pains, bro. Like, you have to take those, because he's got to learn from it. Yeah, we looked good. Seattle looked good. They looked good. And that's against the Broncos, a team that, some people have going to like as a Super Bowl team, it's for sure a playoff team. So I'm not gonna lie, that the Broncos definitely, watching them, they actually definitely surprised me. I was like, oh shit. I was like, they actually aren't that bad. I was like, they actually are pretty decent. But that game went as the way I expected it to. Super low scoring. And then because I knew the timing was going to be out. There was a lot of missed timings with the routes, with the receivers and Wilson. And then in Seattle, like I was saying, Gino already did start. So it was nice to actually see him play a full game. Like, because I remember Gino coming out of West Virginia, and I remember he was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, I believe. So for him to come out like that and do really good, not turn the ball over, which is great, we win. He managed the game very well, very, very well. But yeah, let's talk about the game. So, first quarter, Seattle scores his first TD. Um, what's his name? Gino rolls out, almost gets sacked. But he finds Disley at the very last second. Throws it. Disley's able to score. Wilson comes on and he got booed hard, bro. They booed him hard. Which is fine. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, they shouldn't be booing him. They shouldn't. Look, man. There's not one Seattle fan that does not appreciate what Russell Wilson did, for real. Honestly. There's not one person that doesn't appreciate what he did. But he's not on the squad no more, man. And when you're not on the squad no more, and then when you left the way he left, and then you hear all this other stuff that's been coming out, recently, you know, about his team being, you know, team 3 being pissed off that John Schneider or Pete Carroll went to how they scouted Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes, and how that, I guess, really pissed them off. Just, you know, there's just been some stuff coming out that wasn't out before, you know, that happened between those two, 3, you know. But anyways, so Wilson comes on the field. He gets booed, but he gets a field goal out of the first drive. Seattle goes for it on a 4th down, but they don't get it. In the first quarter. And that's basically kind of like what happened. There wasn't really too much going on there. So the first quarter ended, it was 7-3. Second quarter, Jamal Adams gets hurt he actually almost sacked Wilson on the play that he got hurt. He was right there, but he wasn't able to make the play and he got hurt. Seattle gets the ball back on that drive, from that drive. They're able to drive down and get a field goal. Wilson gets the ball back and he's actually finally able to get his first score. It was with Jerry Jeudy. The only thing that happened, though, was that the rookie Kobe Bryant, he was in perfect position to make the play. He was right there. Like legit, like right here, chest to chest. No homo, chest to chest. And the only thing that happened, though, is that literally it was like perfect timing, dude. Because literally, as soon as Kobe turns his head, because, you know, he wants to find the ball so he don't get a PI, to find the ball, as soon as he turns his head, literally, it's the perfect time. As soon as he turns his head, the ball goes right here. It goes right past him. So as soon as he turns his head, the ball's already goes right past his face and it lands right into the receiver's hands. And you know, they stumble, and Jerry Jeudy's able to stay on his feet and he's able to score. But it was just so crazy to see, like, the timing of, like, literally as soon as Kobe turned his head, the ball was, like, crossing his face. So, like, he had no time to, like, react. But, like, if he legit would have turned his head back, like, probably like 2 seconds before that, he would have made a huge play. But that's, you know, that's rookie growing pains. Kobe didn't get, I don't even think he got flagged for pass interference at all last night. He played very well. Very, very well. I didn't hear his name called at all, actually. So he obviously shut down the whole side. I'm telling you the honest truth, because I literally never heard his name called. And he was on the field the whole time, so they obviously didn't feel comfortable throwing to him. Or Russell didn't. Russell felt way more comfortable throwing against Woolen. But even Woolen made some plays sometimes, man. I'm telling you that those two corners, man, and I knew it. As soon as I seen them, like, I was just kind of, and then just the way they play, I was like, they're going to fit very well in Seattle, and they're going to jump right in. That's the other good thing, too, is that they're able to jump just right in. Like, hey, you're going right in right now, and you have to learn this shit, because you guys are huge pieces to what we're trying to build here. So yeah, Russell gets his first score. We get the ball back. Gino gets the ball, drives downfield, and then he's able to find Parkinson, who I've been talking about. And Parkinson, he's a tight end from Stanford. He's 6'7". And now you have a guy who's Geno Smith, and I hate to bring this up because like, I don't want to feel like I'm bashing on Russell, but like Russell isn't that tall, man. He isn't. And I don't care what anybody says. It is a liability to try to see over guys that are 6'3", 6'4" in front of you when you're my height, when you're 5'10". You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't work out like that. Or it's just harder. It's just harder. So that's why what he does is amazing. But anyways, the reason why I like Parkinson and him being 6'7" is because Gino's pretty tall. So Gino could legit throw that high point, and that high point is going to be super high, and it's going to be perfect for Parkinson. But Parkinson, I've been wanting him to get on the field. The thing with him is kind of like with Dizzy, they've been kind of getting hurt. But when he's on the field, like even like the last night, like he looked really good, man. And he was able to get his first score. I know they're going to use him a lot. I know they like him. The Broncos got the ball back, and they were able to get a field goal. So yeah, it was, let me see, I believe it was 14-6 going in the half, right? $14-6. It was like 14-9 or whatever. But anyways, so the Broncos closed the second half with the field goal. Or the second quarter. I just did that shit again, so I'm sorry, guys. Third quarter starts. Broncos drive all the way downfield, and they fumble at the goal line. They drive all the way downfield, and they fumble on the goal line. Seattle gets the ball back. We're about to tap that ass. We're about to take over the game. It's our house. We don't like you no more. Get out of here. Go back home. This ain't your home no more. Why is this so personal? Vergas. But anyways, we get the ball back, and DK fumbles. No, man. I'm over here trying to talk my shit, and DK, no, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, DK, secure that shit, bro. Gosh. Like, you're so strong. Like, secure it, bro. When you're going down, secure that ball, man. Can't be having those kind of turnovers, man. But it's all good. DK fumbles the ball. Denver gets the ball back. They start driving back down the field. I'm like sitting here like, oh shit. They're about to drive down the field. They're about to score. We're about to lose. And we could have beat this team, right? So I'm already thinking the worst. I'm already mad. I'm already throwing the dogs and shit. Nah, just playing. But anyway, so Denver gets the ball back. They start driving down the field. And they get right there. They're about to punch it in at the goal line. And then they fumble again. And this time it was Jamal Williams, I think that's his name. All I know is his last name is Williams. Williams, he fumbles. And Michael Jackson, who had a great game. Michael Jackson, this corner, he had a big game. And this Michael Jackson kid, he also had a huge preseason game. He wasn't on the Seahawks squad last year, but he had a huge preseason this year, and he made the squad, and he was making big time plays all last night. Michael Jackson, I seen him pop up a lot yesterday, and Michael Jackson recovered the ball. They're pretty much in the third quarter, nobody scored. Fourth quarter started. Broncos drive all the way down again after they get the ball back. But they can't score, so they settle for a field goal. And which made it 17-16. And then the score never changed after that. They just kept on going back and forth. Nobody could score. Nobody could do anything. It was just really back and forth. Both defenses were holding. And then Russell Wilson got the ball at the end of the game to try to win the game. And everybody knows Seattle. And everybody knows Russell Wilson. They knows that he gonna pull that shit off, right? Because he's Russell. And he's in Seattle. So Russell starts driving them down. Bam, bam, bam. The only thing is, though, so there's not that much time left, and he's taking his sweet ass time. Like, there was a minute left, and by the time they got to fourth and fifth, almost at the 50, what was it, like the 50th yard line, it was like 24 seconds left, and they had 2 timeouts. Crazy, just wild, just so wild to me. But it's not wild to me because if you watch Russell Wilson, if you've been a Seahawks fan for the past couple years, you would understand that he's been horrible, absolute horrible with time management. He has not been good with time management. He had 3 or 2 delayed games last night. You know what I'm saying? He should have like 5. There's a lot of times you could hear the announcers. They're like, "Oh, it's down to 0 again," but the refs weren't calling it. Russell Wilson, he really is great, and like I said, I watched him for past forever years before he went to the Broncos. And he really is a great quarterback, but there's certain things that he lacks at that you can't be lacking at, and time management is one of them. It's so critical, it's so crucial, and it's oblivious to him, man. It's been going on for a while. I literally was not surprised that they didn't know how much time they had left, or how much space they had left. Like, all that shit that goes into time management, right? Distance, all that stuff. Like, I'm not surprised that he did not know that he was running out of time, because he's been doing that. It's like once he gets going, it's like once everything starts speeding up, it's like, oh shit. It's like he just worries about what's on the field, but he doesn't worry about anything else that's going on. It's like, bro, the shot clock's right there, so you can see how much you have time to to hike this ball. You know, you got the time everywhere, literally plastered everywhere in the stadium, where letting you know like how much time you have left in the game. And he just can't seem to just be good with it. Great quarterback. He'll win you the games. Obviously, he won the Super Bowl. But his time management has just been super horrible. Like, really bad. Really, really bad. And you can't blame the coaches. It's not like you could blame Pete Carroll on them, because before, people used to blame Pete Carroll on all them. But look what's still happening. It's still happening over here in Denver. So there's a common denominator, man. And it's not the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, there's huge headlines going on right now. There's the pot's being stirred about Russell and his coach, because people are saying, yo, if I paid my quarterback $300 million, I'm not gonna have my kicker trying to win me the game. First of all, that kicker had the distance twice to make that field goal, so that's actually a really good call. If the kicker would have been short on the first kick, because what's crazy, because it was 17-16, so they were trying to win the game on a field goal because it was 4th and 5. And the kicker kicks it right away first time, because they try to kick it quick. They try to catch the Seahawks off guard, right? So they got lined up real quick, bam, and they kicked it. Well, when they kicked it, the kicker, he made it, but he was off. But he had the distance. Like, if you would have went more to the right, they would have won the game. So he had the distance, he had the leg. It was like, oh shit, like he even had extra. But the Seahawks called the timeout. So I remember I looked over at my sister. I was honestly kind of mad, because I was like, gosh, dang it, like, we literally just won the game, and you're literally giving this kicker another chance to beat us, after he just got pretty much a practice kick out the way, you know? And especially a practice kick like that, like where the game's on the line and it's that far, it's like, oh, okay, so now you just gave the guy the confidence, like, okay, yeah, I can't kick it that far. Now I just have to go this way, you know? So I feel like that was a bad call. The Broncos get to kick again. And thankfully, same thing happens again. He gets the distance, but he's just too far to the left. And, obviously I was very happy because we were able to get the win. But like I said, right now, the big talk right now on everyone on sports is everybody's like, yo, how come the coach didn't give Russell the chance to get the 4th and 5? Well, first of all, because Russell wasted too much damn time. That's the main thing. He wasted too much damn time. And then to me, it wasn't a bad call because your kicker literally could have made the kick. He had the distance, not once, twice. Twice he could have made that kick. He just wasn't accurate enough. That was it. He just didn't get it down the middle. If he would have got it down the middle, the game's over. Both times. But he went all the way to the left both times. So it wasn't a bad call by the coach because obviously the kicker could make it. It just didn't work out. Because if he would have made that kick, the coach, we're not talking about it, and the coach looks like a genius. Like, oh, well, that's what he's supposed to do. He's a great kicker, blah, blah, blah. The narrative changes so fast. Like, instead of it being like such a big deal, then it's not a big deal at all no more if he makes that kick, But yeah, so like that's everything. Everybody's kind of like just arguing about that because, like I said, everybody's like, oh, you pay your $250 million quarterback and you don't trust him enough to try to get a 4th and 5th. It's like, I wouldn't even trust him to try to get goal line right now. We literally fumbled twice at the goal line. Like, I wouldn't trust him at all yesterday. It seemed like everything was going wrong with the offense. Obviously it did. Kicker misses twice, even though he had the distance to make the field goal. That's just what happens. I don't make that a big deal with the whole coach and Russell thing. To me, it's just like, hey, bro, like, you guys wouldn't have been in this position in the first place if you would have kept your eye on that time. You would have been able to slow it more down and have more time. Instead, you have to rush everything, like always. But that was week 1, and it was a great week 1, and so that was week 1, and then we're gonna kick off week 2 of the NFL this Thursday with the Chargers and the Chiefs, which is a divisional game, which I'm super excited about because I love divisional games because they're super competitive, and especially with these two teams. Because I really want to see this Chargers defense go against this Chiefs offense. I really want to see how they look. Because this is going to be a real bar setter for the Chargers. If the Chargers could smack the Chiefs around, it's going down. They're for real. So this is going to be a huge game Thursday for the Chargers. Obviously, if the Chiefs win, it just makes them look even better. It gives them even more confidence because they're like, hell yeah, we're still fucking good. But if the Chargers win, you're going to give them all the confidence because they're going to be like, yo, we just beat the AFC pretty much favorite for the past 4 years, and there's nothing that can stop us now. You know what I'm saying? So, because they would have beat 2 teams that are pretty much playoff teams, back to back weeks. So, and both divisional because they got Raiders and then Chiefs. So, I got the Chargers winning this game, man. And they're at home as well, I believe. So I definitely got them winning this game. And I feel like that defense is really gonna take this game, to a whole nother level. Because, it's a statement game. You definitely want to make a statement on this game because everybody's going to be watching it. It's the only game on Thursday. So, I definitely got them winning. I feel like the Chiefs are going to struggle the same way the Raiders is trying to block Khalil and Joey. Like, it's just good luck, bro. It's literally a pick your poison. Like, good luck trying to stop these 2 guys. You're not going to do it. One of them's going to get to you. One of them is. This last game with the Raiders, it was Khalil Mack. This game, it could be Joey. And then you never know. It could be one of the guys in between the 2. Pause. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited to see Thursday how it goes down. But yeah, that's what's going down in week one. In week one, that's what everything that went down. So we'll jump into the college world now. I mainly only just watched 2 games in the college world. There's a lot of good ones. I would flip back and forth here in between there to see some, but the main one I did watch was the Rams and the Rams. Pendejo. Why'd I call them the Rams? The Texas and Bama. I watched that game. Let me see here. Oh shit. Suns owner server suspended 1 year. No mames. Fined 10 mil. What did he do, boys? Oh shit. That's some breaking news. Vergas. Oh shit. Yeah, so here we got some Chargers wide receiver Allen probably out versus Kansas City. So for you fantasy owners, Joshua accepts terms with Fury fight on December 3rd. Highly doubt that's gonna happen. So don't get hyped up for that because I doubt that's gonna happen. And let me see here. Okay, so let's see what are the scores. That's for this week. No, we don't need this week's, boys. We need last week's. Georgia dominated 33-0, of course. But they played Sanford tune-up game. Ohio State, Arkansas State 45-12. Shit. Ohio State looks really good, man. Michigan 56-10. They look really good. 4th in the nation. They beat Hawaii. Clemson dominated 35-12. They're supposed to, especially against a team like that. Huge upset. Appalachian State with Texas A&M. Appalachian State, if you don't know them, they're notorious, man. They're like the Boise State back then. But Appalachian State, they started being a menace towards these top ranked teams in the BCS. 1 year they went into the big house and beat Michigan, which literally melted, destroyed, nuclear radiation, the whole college football world when that happened. Like everybody just lost their minds, and then they just did it again. They did it again, and they went into Kyle Field this time. Like this Appalachian State team, man. Like wow, like they should maybe get looked at to get pushed up to Division I, because if they could get some athletes down there, they obviously got some great coaches. So they could get some winners down there. So they were able to pull off a huge upset of the billion-dollar company of Texas A&M, allegedly, who was ranked number 6 in the nation, not no more. Oklahoma dominated 33-3. Marshall went into Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame 26-21. That's horrible. Like that's really bad for Notre Dame. You should win games like that, but you never know. Marshall could have a really solid squad. See, when upsets like this happen, I hate how everybody just like bashes the big team that was supposed to win, but nobody praises the team that did win. Like Marshall is like, maybe we should start looking into Marshall and see why they won. Like check out their team, where the receivers are from, where they're from, like where their DBs, all that kind of stuff. How many seniors did they? This could be a fully senior team. Who knows? They could have all seniors on this team starting. Like it's just, you never know. Chemistry. They could have been playing all 4 years together. This whole team, nobody could have left, and they could all still be together. Like you never know. Like nobody really goes in depth into why Marshall's so good. They just like, oh, Notre Dame, you lost. Like Notre Dame lost. Notre Dame lost. That's the only thing that's on the papers, but nobody has, Marshall's team led by like 20 seniors wins against Notre Dame or something, something crazy. But congratulations to Marshall, man. because you already know. I ain't mess with that whack ass team over there that they beat. You know what I'm saying? It's all SC, baby. But anyways, so we go into an overtime, double overtime game here with Baylor and BYU, both ranked teams. BYU able to get the win, 26-20. And that was a really good game. I actually watched that game. It was a really, really good game. BYU was able to pull that win off. And we get to USC and Stanford. Here we go. I told y'all we were going to be back. I told y'all. I kept telling everybody. I was like, USC is not going to suck forever. And y'all better enjoy it. Because eventually we're going to get good again. And when we get good again, we're going to be really good again. And that's what's going on right now. Right now, USC ranked 10th in the nation. We straight slapped Stanford. Slapped them. We made a statement. 41-28. Smacked them, bro. This Addison kid, nobody could guard him. Nobody on Stanford could guard this kid. He was getting open. He was whenever, bro. 107. He almost had 200 yards receiving off 7 catches. 172 yards, 7 receptions. 2 TD. There we go. Now I got it out. 2 TDs. Caleb Williams, bro, almost 350 passing yards, 4 TDs, only 7 incompletions. Running back Ty, 14 carries, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Like, bro, our offense looks so good. Our defense, I mean, it's normal with Lincoln Riley to not have the best defense. At least not right now. I feel we'll have a really good defense next year because of recruiting. Because we're going to want, defensive players are going to want to come over here. But right now, our offense looks great. And like I said, nobody could guard Addison. Nobody. Addison's really, really good. There's a reason why he won that trophy for best receiver in the nation last year. But fight on, man. We look really, really good. And then we go to Arizona State and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State blows them out 34-17. Kentucky, Florida, which I was saying would be a good matchup, was a good game. It was 26-16. Kentucky was able to pull the win off. Utah against Southern. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, so there has to be a skunk rule in college, guys. Come on, man. Let's be real. Southern Utah against Utah, 73-7. Guys, no mames, bro. Utah dominated them. They're supposed to, though. That's how you're supposed to win games against teams like that. Against those tune-up games. Akron against Michigan State, 52-0. Michigan State wins, destroys them. Michigan State quarterback had 2 interceptions too. That's why I had no touchdowns. Damn, or at least that I'm seeing here. Miami, Southern Miss. Miami dominates them 30-7. Van Dyke, that quarterback, 255 yards, 1 TDs. They look pretty good. Arkansas against South Carolina, 44-30. Arkansas wins. That's good for them. That's good for Pig Suey. Tennessee Pittsburgh, which was going to be one of them games I was talking about, and it was 34-27. Tennessee was able to win that game. They went into overtime. Let's see here. Then we got Charleston South against North Carolina State. Damn. North Carolina State blew them out 55-3. Washington State against Wisconsin. Them boys over in Wazoo over there in Pullman, man. They could do more than just party, daddy. We could play some football, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Washington State, they're able to pull off the upset in Wisconsin, 17-14. Big shout outs to them, man. Awesome job, guys. Central Arkansas against Ole Miss. Ole Miss dominates them 59-3. Wake Forest against Vanderbilt. Wake Forest just demolishes them by 20, 45-25. And then we had a double overtime game against Houston and Texas Tech, which was a really good game. If you haven't checked those highlights out, check them out. Amazing. Texas Tech was able to get the win 33-30. Amazing week of football. Amazing, just amazing. But this Alabama and Texas game, man, I definitely want to go into depth in this one. Just because this was the main one that I really watched. I watched the UFC one, but it kind of really got boring to watch because we were just destroying them. But in the first quarter, both teams scored. Bama was getting flags like crazy, very undisciplined, which is very, very different from a Nick Saban team because they're usually very disciplined, but they were getting a lot of flags. Very young team in the first quarter. And then obviously for some odd reason, coincidentally, one of Bama's defensive tackles knocks out the Texas quarterback. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they talked about it in the podcast too, but what started Alabama's run in this whole national championship, this whole Nick Saban run, was when they beat Texas, when Colt McCoy was still there. In that national championship game, Colt McCoy got knocked out by Darius. Marcellus Darius, I think that's his name. Knocked him out. Boom. Out for the rest of the game. Had to start with second quarterback, which he even plays well. He almost ends up winning that game for them. Doesn't. Bama ends up going on starts a dynasty after that, right? This is the first time they played since that game, Texas and Alabama. What happens? Defensive tackle from Bama takes out the quarterback from Texas again. Like, just what are the odds of that, bro? Like, that's just so weird to me. Like, literally, a defensive tackle, the same position, defensive tackle, knocks a guy out for the exact same reason, the shoulder injury. Just crazy. I don't know. To me, it's just like, that's just so weird that that could happen twice. But they do say history repeats itself. So, first quarter ends tied up. Second quarter starts. Carr gets going for Texas. He stepped in and he played well. He started off a little bit shaky, but he got going. And then Bama ended up getting 2 huge pass interference calls, man. But they were late, but they got them. Bad snap going into the half, you know what I'm saying? The game, they were just going back and forth in the whole second quarter. There wasn't really too much scoring. You go into halftime tied 10-10. Third quarter starts. You get a roughing the passer call on on Texas, which gives them the first down because if you watch this game, or even on Twitter, there was people going crazy about that play because a lot of people were saying that it was just football and some people were saying that it was roughing the passer. But what happened in the play, Bryce Young rolls out of the pocket, throws the ball, but as he's throwing the ball, he's getting tackled. So he's getting tackled. He gets like thrown in the air and kind of in the way. And this Sanders, this linebacker from Texas, comes by and hits him, hits his legs, bam. And they called roughing the passer on that. And everybody, it was kind of mixed in between like what was what. Me personally, I didn't feel like it was roughing the passer. But they gave it to Bama. And then what was I gonna say? And and then Bama just kept shooting themselves in the foot, man. They kept on getting penalties, bro. Their penalties just kept stacking up. They would make a big play, but then they would get erased because there was a penalty. And it was on both sides of the ball, not just on defense. It was on both sides of the ball. They were getting flags on defense and offense. So there they go. Game's going. Fourth quarter starts. Texas is able to take a lead, 16-10 lead. Then Young connects with Gibbs, which gives them a 17-16 lead. So that way the Bama takes the lead. Hold on, yo. I don't know what that means, but I don't know why I put that there, but I did. Anyways, Texas gets a huge stop on a 4th and 1. And then from Bama doesn't get it. They try to go for it, but they didn't get it. They try to go for a 4th and 1. So they have to settle for a field goal. Texas takes a lead. So now it's 19-17. And Bama gets the ball back. Bryce gets the ball back and drives Bama all the way down the field. He drives them all the way down the field, and he's able to give Bama the lead. He drives them all the way down the field to get them to field goal range, and then they take the lead. Sorry. And that's how Bama wins 20-19 in Texas. And it looked like Texas was gonna win this game, guys. Texas was definitely the better team. They were the better team until that quarterback got hurt. Because when that quarterback before he got hurt, they were tearing up that Alabama defense. They could not stop them. It was huge play after huge play after huge play. And then, bam, the game slows down. It has to slow back down because your quarterback got hurt. And your other quarterback's more of a pocket passer. And your other one was more athletic. So, we're going to see what happens with Ewers, too. Because next year, Archie Manning's going to be there. So it's going to be like, okay, well, what's going to happen to you? You already transferred from Ohio State to Texas. So it's like, now where are you going to go? So we'll see what big schools. I mean, who knows? You could end up at USC. USC might need one, but I feel like we have some really good young quarterbacks coming in. So I feel like we'll be all right on that part. But, yeah. Yeah, it was just pretty crazy how much the game. It was just the same thing as that national championship game that I watched literally like 10 years ago. The game was way more fast paced when the Texas starting quarterback was in, and then as soon as he went out, everything slowed back down, and that worked in Bama's favor. But Bryce, that the kid could fight. He's a fighter, doesn't give up, competitor. He's gonna be a good one. He's definitely gonna be a very good quarterback in the next level. It's hard to get him down. He's really good at keeping drives alive. He reminds me a lot of Deshaun Watson, actually, coming out of college. Like, he just could keep a play alive and then just makes the right big play. So we'll see what happens up in the college world. We'll see the power rankings. We'll see who shifts where, because there were obviously some big upsets this weekend. But yeah, guys, that's basically it that happened in the sports world over the weekend with football, and we're gonna keep on doing this, guys. So especially even if we keep on getting more news and all that stuff to talk about, I'll definitely keep on putting out more episodes. But definitely these episodes are going to be a lot longer because I'm going to try to recap college and the NFL on the same day. There'll be times where I'll be able to split them up, which will be really nice. But as of right now, I'm doing them on separate days. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. You get a big dose of football pretty much every episode on Tuesday. So yeah. But yeah, very, very excited to have football back. Very happy to be here with you guys. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you guys keep on having a great week. Keep getting after it. Don't give up, guys. Keep on being the foundation for your loved ones. And I love every single one of you guys. And I will see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste. So you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life.